Level 1. You wake to metal and dull light. A door snaps. A name on a board is yours now. They told you the case is closed. They told you the evidence was iron. You watched the jury hand you a ghost. You felt the gavel like a bone. You taste chalk and rain. You breathe prison air. It smells like rules and patience. You learn the timetable of sighs. Sleep comes in shifts. You learn how to silence yourself. Eyes watch from bricks. Footsteps map the hours. You count them not to learn a pattern, but to keep your mind awake. You hold on to the real night in a picture tucked inside the book you are allowed. Someone you love becomes a memory you must protect. Someone else remembers the moment the cameras blinked. You cannot shake the feeling of being watched by two courts, the law and everyone else. You are not sad in the quiet way of acceptance. You are volcanic. Wrongness burns slow and deep. Every morning you press your hand to the windowless wall and try to feel the world outside. It never answers. Level 2. Rumor moves faster than bread. A whisper. New evidence. A lawyer's name like a key. Hope is a dangerous thing in still water. You touch it carefully. You meet eyes across the yard. A nod, a timing, a message folded into the rhythm of things. You learn that the world outside isn't the only place that can change. You begin to notice openings that are not instructions, just truths. A guard coughs twice in a way that means something to no one but you. A phone call is a lie, or maybe a truth. A visitor carries a face like a storm cloud and leaves with something smaller. A look that says, I remember. You study faces like an archaeologist reads pottery. You catalog the good and the dangerous. You imagine the trial again and again. You taste the pieces of it. Misplaced evidence. A witness whose memory frays. A camera that missed a moment. You feel the thinness of certainty. It is paper thin. Your name should be clean, but it clings to you like mud. You begin to plan, not how to break steel, but how to break the narrative that put you here. You decide on motion. Stasis kills more than time. Level 3. Night scales in degrees of risk. You know danger by the creak it gives. Wind through bars is a rumor of freedom. You rehearse conversations like a play that might save you. You switch stories like changing coats. Lie by omission, truth by angle. You meet the few who will listen because they must survive you or because they believe. There is a woman who sutures broken things. Even trust. An old man who has watched too many lives burn down and kept his silence. A kid with a laugh that scares you because it still sounds like homeland. You barter stories for small favors. The favors have faces. Guilt sits with you at the table and eats slowly. You sleep with images of the moment you were accused. The silver glint, the shouting, the handcuffs closing like a moral fist. Sometimes you think about not leaving, about proving innocence from inside, about filing appeals until the ink runs out. Then you remember how long the courthouse waits, how many framed pictures of justice have dust on them. Outside, seasons change. Inside, the clock does not. You choose motion again, not because it's braver, but because it's honest. Level 4. Preparation is not a blueprint. It is a litany of small decisions. You do not seek instructions. You measure consequences. You weigh who you will hurt. You decide who you will save. You promise yourself one rule: no innocent harm. Morality becomes a map you redraw every hour. You talk to your lawyer in shadows. Words are weapons now. You exchange a photograph for a name. You trade silence for a lead. You walk corridors with a cadence meant to deceive the most observant. You are careful not to give a tutorial to anyone. You learn the price of movement. Eyes, suspicion, tightened schedules. You learn restraint. You rehearse leaving in your head like prayer. The thing you carry most is regret. You think of the face that believed you and how you'll explain your absence. You think of the person whose life depends on your choice. You think of the life you never wanted to steal back. At night, you press your palms to the small photograph and whisper the truth into the paper. It feels flimsy. It also feels like a torch. Level 5. The night comes. A storm outside the walls bangs like a drum. Thunder hides movement. You feel the planet turning with you on it, indifferent and enormous. Your chest beats a slow war drum. Silence screams louder than noise. You do not narrate your actions. You do not give lessons. You act. Every heartbeat is an argument. Fear tightens the collar around your throat. You think of 1,000 things you could have done differently. No regret changes the past. Your hands are steady because consequence has distilled them. You move through the darkness like a rumor, not because you are skilled, but because desperation is an unexpected ally. You are never alone in the dark. Even when the yard is empty, the idea of a person follows. You imagine faces and name them as allies or threats. There is a moment where time contracts. You step into it. You remember, this is not about breaking glass, this is about breaking a lie. You carry that like a lantern. Level 6. They notice. Some notice with horror, some with a professional calm that chills you more than anger. The alarm is a high voice in a long hallway. Shouts are punctuation. You become an acute animal. Every corridor is a history of your choices. Every shadow is a witness. You feel regret like a physical weight. You also feel clarity. There is no purity in your decision. There is only outcome. You run not because you love running, but because you love the truth more. You pass faces that will remember you forever. Some will curse, some will pray. You will live inside both of those memories. Your lungs burn like the end of a cigarette. You keep going. You think of steam, of rain, of the city stretching beyond the horizon. You remember the law as a living thing, capable of error, of correction, and of ferocity. The chase is less cinematic than you believed. It is mechanical and terrible. You find a small pause, and in it you breathe, and for the first time in years, you see the sky. Level 7. The aftermath is quieter than you imagined. There is no fanfare. There is no instant absolution. There are only choices you must live with. A phone call arrives eventually. A name appears on the other end that you thought lost. You hear, in fragments, that someone else noticed the same fissure. You are not free yet. You are not safe. You are an unmoored person on a shore you do not recognize. There is guilt, ferocious and steady. There is also a thin, hopeful thread, an ally on the outside who begins to pull at the truth. You must decide again, now on the run of reputation and justice. Do you step into the light and claim the mess of your story? Do you keep running and turn the fiction into reality? You sit under a rusted sign and let rain wash the night from your face. The photograph in your pocket is damp. You take it out. You place it against your chest like evidence not yet presented. You whisper the one thing that keeps you human. You will not let the lie win. You will not be only a fugitive. You will be a witness, a survivor. You stand. You plan not a perfect escape, but a proper ending. You know the law is flawed. You also know vengeance is lonely and hollow. You walk into a city that does not know your name. You carry the weight of pages you have not read, and you will fill them. The camera pulls back. The rain is endless. Your shadow stretches long and thin on the pavement. You are wrongfully convicted, yes, but you are also alive. And in the quiet after running, you begin the harder work, telling the truth that broke you so it can heal you. The end is not yet written.